promotes sustainability and compassion through plant-based advocacy. And our main mission is to call attention to the elephant in the room when it comes to climate change. Although really, it would probably be more accurate to refer to it as a hurricane rather than an elephant. It's a force that brews and builds, initially unseen, and once it hits, it leaves a path of destruction in its wake. This hypothetical hurricane is responsible for more greenhouse gas emissions than all forms of transportation combined. It's also the leading cause of species extinction, ocean dead zones, water pollution, and habitat destruction. For each second that I'm up here speaking, another acre of rainforest is cleared because of it. So what is this hypothetical hurricane really? It's animal agriculture. Throughout my life, I've considered myself a lover of animals and nature. I still remember when I was little and first started becoming familiar with the concept of global warming. I remember once I was standing behind a running car and I felt the heat of the exhaust pipe against my legs, and I was like, oh, that's global warming. All I was really taught in school was that cars and factories make the world hot and that we shouldn't leave the faucet running while we're brushing our teeth. From all my years in school, I received little to no in-depth education about climate change or the impact of our actions on the environment. But in the past couple of years, my understanding of the world has completely spun on its heels. I don't remember exactly what triggered this, but at one point I just started becoming increasingly aware of the food on my plate, and more specifically where it came from. Thank you. So more specifically, I became aware of where my food was coming from. I didn't know that the chicken in my salad was bred to become too large for his own body. I didn't know that the butter on my toast came from a mother cow who just wanted to keep her baby. I didn't know, and still don't know, how I convinced myself that these animals were somehow killed humanely. All this and more became evident to me as I delved into the world of animal agriculture. With this research came an increasing interest in the environment. I came to realize that not only will the effects of climate change be played out within my lifetime, but that one of the biggest contributors to it is hardly ever spoken about. It's like it's taboo for us to talk about something that might be a little bit uncomfortable, something like adopting a plant-based diet. I'm sure a few of you probably just shuddered at the mention of it. I used to be the exact same way. But think about it. When we buy animal products, we vote for environmental destruction. We vote for unnecessary violence. I didn't realize this till I did some more digging into the ins and outs of climate change. I realized that even if we completely eradicate the use of fossil fuels, we will still exceed our 565 gigaton carbon dioxide equivalent in 12 years, all from raising animals. That means that even if we all decided to stop using our vehicles, stop heating our homes, stop using electricity, stop industrial manufacturing and all that, we would still be on the path towards an environmental catastrophe. And it would all be because we continue to consume animal products at the rate that we do. It's hard to wrap your head around just how much animal agriculture is taking a toll on this planet. So let's use beef burgers as an example. To get a burger, you need to first have a cow. And to have a cow, you need land for it to grow on. For it to grow, you need a fresh water supply and plenty of crops to feed it. And to feed it, you need land to grow all the crops, and so on. I'm assuming you get the picture. Basically, we use upwards of a third of the Earth's total land for animal agriculture. The vast majority of this space is used just to raise food for all these animals. And frankly, it's a really inefficient system. According to The Guardian, if we all stopped consuming meat and dairy, global farmland use would be reduced by 75% and still feed the entire world. In other words, we could feed the entire human population with a quarter of the farmland we are using today if we stop buying animal products. And when I say the entire population, I mean the entire population, not just first world countries. Now back to that burger. I have another crazy statistic for you. A recent study published by the Climatic Change found that if beef was swapped for beans worldwide, we would be 75% closer to meeting our greenhouse gas reduction goals by 2020. 75% by 2020. That's next year, and that's just from swapping one animal product for a plant product. Animal agriculture is clearly a major proponent of climate change, yet no one seems to be talking about it. Recently, I did a presentation about climate change at my school. I focused on both the causes of climate change and, more importantly, things that each and every one of us can do to combat it. I really wanted to emphasize animal agriculture's role in climate change. I wanted people to realize just how much of a difference they can make by doing something as simple as going plant-based. But I also understand that it's a delicate subject. The mention of a plant-based diet is an instant turn-off for a lot of people. This got me worried. I wanted to make a convincing presentation, but I also didn't want people to shut down at the mention of animal agriculture. So I turned to others for advice. I asked them, what do you think the best method would be? I genuinely wanted some feedback so that I could make my presentation as effective as possible, while still emphasizing the effects of animal agriculture. Yet I got the same response from nearly every single person I turned to. Friends, even teachers, were just telling me, just don't talk about it. And I was like, do you understand the gravity of the situation? The planet is literally dying under our feet, and we can make momentous improvements simply by shifting what we eat. When you're walking down the grocery store aisle, all you have to do is buy a plant-based burger rather than a beef one, or oat milk rather than dairy milk. It's that easy. So now I have a new question. Now I don't want to know how to talk about animal agriculture. I want to know when. When will we start talking about animal agriculture? Will it be when there are no more fish in the sea? When all the land is desertified? Or when the earth warms over 1.5 degrees Celsius? Or when the last tree in the Amazon rainforest is cut down for livestock? The clock is ticking on climate change, and with global leaders doing little to nothing to help, our actions are more important than ever. We're all here today because we share a common goal: to save the planet and to save our future. Every day, our actions impact the environment, whether for better or for worse. Every day, we vote with our dollars. When we buy animal products, we are giving these industries the green light to continue destroying our earth. During the span of this strike, over 30 million animals will be killed for food, and over 30,000 acres of rainforest will be cleared to raise more of these animals, releasing tons of carbon dioxide. This relentless machine will just go on and on unless we say something about it. On the way here, I passed by the Martin Luther King Jr. Highway, and I was reminded of a quote of his that seems relevant in the context of today's strike. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. We can fight climate change with diet change, if not for the sake of the planet, then for the sake of peace. Thank you.